Coming up next, the coach and the AD sound off about the Bolus Owls. The football season is over, but our show must go on. Owlsports Update. Roll it. Hello and welcome to Owlsports Update. For Tom Monfiletto, I'm Eric Pliny. The men's and women's basketball teams both dominated over the weekend. Also, see which plays and players from the fall made our top 5 plays list.
And we'll introduce you to one sophomore spark plug on the Owls basketball team. And even though Temple's colors are listed as cherry and white, does anyone really know what cherry is? But first, it's time to be a buzzkill. For the Temple football team, last Sunday was supposed to be a day of celebration as they waited like children on Christmas Eve to hear their destination in this year's bowl extravaganza. Unfortunately, Santa called in sick, and a day that should have been filled with joy turned into one filled with disappointment, as the Owls learned that despite an 8-4 record and a win over UConn, BCS team, there would be no bowl this year. When Golden told the team, many players cried, but Golden's reaction seemed to be one of a little more anger than sorrow. Golden said, quote, "I'm disappointed for our student athletes, especially for a remarkable group of seniors who are the first group since 1982 to graduate with a winning record." He went on to say, "It's unfortunate for everyone in the Temple community because this team is truly worthy of a bowl." It didn't stop there, as Athletic Director Bill Bradshaw got in on voicing his displeasure. "It's especially disappointing for the players and coaches who won 8 games against a tough schedule," Bradshaw said. He went on to say 7 bowl postseason teams, including Villanova, they deserve to go to a bowl game.
But it doesn't matter because we are going to keep celebrating the season, and it's that time for our top 5 plays from the fall. This is where you at home get to enjoy awesomeness, and we get to say silly adjectives and verbs to describe the action. It's a win-win.
It absolutely is. Over the course of an 8-win season, I can think of about 20 plays that stick out in my mind, but we picked for you the top 5 very best. Actually, I picked them myself. Number 5, let's go to Kent State. Quarterback Mike Girardi, Willie Beeman. He also threw for 2 more in this one.
He actually hits the ground there, I promise. Chester Stewart gonna flip to Matt Brown. Little man going a long way, crossing fields, stretched out dive at the end. It's actually his first touchdown of the season.
It's the Owls' first touchdown. Girardi again, in his first game, the 3rd pass of his career, connects with Rod Streeter. 80-yard touchdown.
Why is he so fast?
Owls win 28-27.
I don't know how he does that. Number 2, Chester Stewart again, is screenplay, and purposely so because you can't see it right here. But there's Pierce right there. He's going to dive in, had 3 touchdowns on his day versus UConn, had a 4th that's called back.
Number 1 play, not really a play, more of a day. Matt Brown, this is one of his 4 touchdowns. He also ran for 226 yards as Temple beat Army 42-35.
They started the season ranked in the top 25, had their best player on the John Wooden top 50 watch list. Coach Dunphy said before the season, being ranked doesn't guarantee you wins. Well, now the Owls are out of the top 25, and they're still not going to come any easier with Georgetown, Duke, and Villanova coming up. The Owls headed into the Verizon Center for, let's say, not a must-win, but maybe a gut check. Owls visit the Verizon Center in the nation's capital to stop sophomore stud Jordan Williams, also on the John Wooden watch list. 6 feet, 10 inches, 200 pounds right there, slams it down. He had a double-double, finished with 17 and 11. Owls answered back, though. Scooty Randall, swish, 10 points and 7 boards for him. Owls look sloppy in the second half of this game, but Moore making the Turtles look slow here. Moore's offensive game starting to get better this season. They had 16, led the team. Temple had 9 steals in the first 20 minutes as they go up 11 at halftime. But the Terps had some Turtle power left in them as Deshaun Howard is going to dish to, well, that was Haikaru Palsy who knocked down a huge 3. But the Owls come back. And that was Khalif Wyatt knocking down a 3. He had 4 steals, none bigger than this last one, which came with 36 seconds left. That was Lavoy Allen getting 2. Owls hold on for a 64-61 win. And this is where, they joke around after the game. Do you see that shot I made? He played so well. Good job.
Read passing lanes pretty well, and it certainly helped us in terms of putting some space between us and them. And obviously, as you saw down the stretch, we needed that space because I thought they were coming after us like gangbusters.
Just get rebounds, help my team on defense, and do whatever I can. I'm not always going to be the top scorer or anything, so No, I think we're a great team. Anyone can step up any night, so I'm not really worried about it.
Maryland could be as good as a team as Georgetown. They're not ranked, but they're a really good team. And especially playing, this was a neutral court, but it was an away game for us. I mean, everyone was a Maryland fan. And I think it shows some toughness for our group. And hopefully we'll be ready for not only Georgetown, but for the rest of the non-conference schedule.
Okay, let's recap. After starting the season 2-0, the Owls, well, haven't looked like the Owls. They turned the ball over 15 times against the Terps. They also got outshot in the second half, 57% from the field to 44%, but somehow this Owl team hangs on thanks to a Khalif Wyatt steal and bucket.
The Temple basketball Owls returned 8 players that played over 5 minutes per game last season. Khalif Wyatt wasn't one of them. This year, however, it's been a much different story. Wyatt's averaging better than 12 minutes and 6 points a game, transforming into not only a contributor, but an offensive threat. Updates Josh Roltenberg has more.
As a rookie, Temple guard Khalif Wyatt didn't see much playing time, but as a sophomore, he's become one of the key pieces for the Owls. That's because he started to believe in himself, and so have his coaches.
My confidence pretty much just comes from me just believing in myself and just knowing that I can play with those guys out there. And Coach Duff had confidence in me to put me in that crucial parts in the game, and that's really boosted my own confidence in myself.
Wyatt's given the Owls some much-needed scoring this season. His career-high 10 points against the Georgia Bulldogs helped the Owls get their only victory in the Old Spice Classic. His teammates and coaches appreciate his consistency so far.
Coming off the bench, he gives us a great, he does a great job on the offense, and that's what we need.
He's a terrific basketball player, and I think he's learning how to play the defensive end, which has always been his shortcoming.
Given the fact that Khalif is one of the younger guys, 2 Owls in particular have taken Wyatt under their wings.
Mo Moore is pretty much like, he give me a lot of advice and just tell me to stay focused and keep working hard every day in practice. And the boy Allen also was like, just tell me to keep working every day and that I'm going to be good and just make sure I just stay focused.
In each of the Owls games this season, they've needed more than just their starting 5 in order to win their games. They've needed a spark off the bench, and Khalif Wyatt has proven to be just that. Reporting for Owlsports, I'm Josh Roltenberg.
Talk about stacking your schedule up front. The women's basketball team has taken on opponents such as top 10 ranked Ohio State and UCLA to start the season. Call them battle-tested if you want. Whatever the case may be, they've won 3 in a row. That, my friends, we call a winning streak. Saturday, the Owls traveled to the Cam Newton Plains of Auburn, Alabama to take on the Auburn Tigers. A 3 by Brittany Lewis with just over a minute left gave the Owls a 63-62 lead that they wouldn't give back. 3 Owls scored in double figures, Quita Wallace and Kristen McCarthy with 15, Shea Petty with 17 and 9 rebounds, helping earn her Big 5 Player of the Week honors. In Athens, the Owls took down the Ohio Bobcats by a score of 75-48, covering the spread and running it up like the Pats did to the Jets, Eric. Victoria McCauley scored a career-high 13 in that one.
Owlsports reporter Jeff McDevitt put on his Inspector Gadget hat and discovered something earth-shattering that you may have never noticed about the color cherry. One of Temple's school colors. I just have one question, Jeff. Is my shirt cherry?
Fight for the cherry and the white.
So the lyrics to Temple's fight song go fight, fight, fight for the cherry and the white. But what exactly is cherry? Is this jersey colored cherry? How about this one? What about this? At such a large university with a football team that has had consecutive 8-win seasons and 2 basketball teams that started the year in the top 25, surely Temple's students should know where to find Temple's exact shade of cherry, right?
I don't know.
Temple has a myriad of problems when it comes to the color cherry. For example, the Leah Core Center's floor paint is a drastically different shade of red than the jerseys Temple wears when they play on it.
I guess it would definitely help if they had the same color because it's a little off, so, I mean, it could kind of feel like a road game to them.
The flags that adorn the campus on every block are a different color than the athletes' uniforms. Temple is only one of 2 schools in the country that uses cherry and white as its colors, the other being Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in upstate New York.
Our school colors are cherry and white, and I don't think we got a good feel for exactly what cherry is, maybe. If it was one set color, it would be more like unity, I guess.
The other side of this color conundrum is the apparel students purchase at the bookstore. I found 7 different shades of cherry sweatshirts alone.
The student apparel in the bookstore, that's not the same as what athletics has, but we are working with them with Under Armour in our new agreement a major thing that we are working on is streamlining the bookstore with the rest of the athletic department of the university.
So when students do cheer for the cherry and white, they're cheering for the cherry and white, the maroon and white, the red and white, and any other shade of red that seems to fit the profile on North Broad. At the Liacouras Center, I'm Jeff McDevitt, Owlsports Update.
I know most people probably circled Georgetown, Duke, Villanova on their schedules this season. Well, it's time to circle one more. Owlsports reporter Kyle Fisher joins us now to preview. Kyle.
Thanks, Eric. Yes, most of us here at Owlsports are getting geared up for the first ever basketball grudge match with Temple Update, the weekly student-run news station here at Temple. Game time is Friday at noon, but preparation is already well underway.
Somebody very smart told me that luck is when preparation meets opportunity. X's and O's time. X's and O's.
We focus a little more
defense. I'm going to go with zone because I don't like cardiovascular activity. So, I mean, you look at Owlsports, we have
Tom Monfiletto, Coobs,
have Eric Polini,
Pat Atwell,
Joe Polinsky,
Kyle Fisher.
who?
It would be like if Brock Lesnar entered the ring with the jockey from Seabiscuit.
the other direction.
If we can somehow simulate an earthquake during the game, this is going to be a hard-fought basketball game.
I think it's going to be a ferocious, hard-fought battle.
I expect to win.
Again, preparation is key, and failure is not an option here at Owlsports Update. Fill up the passion buckets all day, guys. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks a lot, Kyle. And, I'm feeling pretty good about this. I don't know what else to say.
Well, if you're a betting man, couple things you might want to play here. Owlsports minus 36.5. I'll take them minus the points. Over-under on Josh Roltenberg calling fouls on us is 15. I'd go over that as well.
Agreed.
Well, let's go into the nest on that note. Some positive news for the volleyball team. Ariel Pierre named to the Cobra Magazine All-East Region team. Pierre finished the season ranked 36 in the country in digs per set. Eric, what's your dig per set average?
I was actually just digging before. I'll tell you later. First place finishes, including a meet record. 4 first place finishes, including a meet record breaking performance, capped off an impressive debut for the Temple men's track team and track and field team at the Jack Priya Invitational. Sophomore Tim Malloy set a meet record in the high jump of 6 feet 7 inches.
Quita Wallace, Athlete of the Month. Wallace averaged 14.5 points per game throughout the 6 November contests, including a 32-point explosion over the 6th-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes in the season opener.
That'll do it. We've got one more show for you, though, and we'll be bringing you highlights of Temple-Georgetown marquee basketball as it's almost time for 3 p.m. shoot-around and layup lines.
Absolutely, and if you're lucky, we'll do some box-out drills.
Maybe.
For Eric Polini and the rest of the Owlsports crew, I'm Tom Monfiletto. We'll see you next week for the bonus show. I'll let you know how we do.